Hey there, Audie Ratliff from Ratliff Mandolins. It is middle of October 2024, and this video here will be basically a recap of all of the things that get done around the shop this week. And we are going to start this week's labor with this mandolin right here. It's an R5 master model. It lacks one teeny piece of binding on the peg head, and then we can start the inlay process. So we're going to start this video right here putting the last piece of binding on this mandolin. First thing to do will be, of course, take the string / clamp off of the next to the last piece of binding, which was this piece right here, and kind of sand everything down just a little bit. Doesn't have to be to the final dimensions, but we want to smooth everything up enough so that we can make a good joint right here for this next piece. And now I'm going to tackle the final shaping and sanding on the back of the neck of the last mandolin in this batch that needs this job done. It's been glassed and roughed down, but it needs to come to the final dimensions and have the heel all smoothed out and making sure everything flows. And these two areas right here around the peghead ears. So this is the last one in the batch. It actually needs this job done, and I won't quit until we get down to about 120 grit paper. And now this final A style mandolin has had the neck cleaned up and sanded down to pretty much 100 grit. In fact, all of the 5 remaining mandolins in this batch that have not had finish put on them, they've all been shaped, sanded down to at least 80 grit, and most of these mandolins have had a good portion of them sanded down to 100 grit. So, which when you get down to 100 grit, that's pretty much you're ready to get it ready to accept the stain and the lacquer and that sort of thing, to hunt for all of the little fine problems and little dips and bumps or scratches or whatever that you might run into. So they're rapidly approaching the point where I can shoot finish on them, with the exception of the fact that none of these 5 have their frets put in. So that's what I'm going to do next to this one. As you saw, I think in last week's episode, I have a series of blocks that are cut with the same radius. This thing is radiused this way, straight this way, but radiused this way. And we just wrap sandpaper around there with the rough side out. And do that right there until we have sanded all over. And then these fretboards will have just a slight roll in them. That's called a radius fretboard. Makes it a whole lot easier to play. And we'll do the bridge tops that way. So believe it or not, it's just a huge playing difference between a radius and a flat fretboard, and I like the radius ones a lot better. And that's pretty much where we're at. We still have frets to put in all 5 of these mandolins, and there's the peghead inlay in the R5 Master model. So between prepping these fretboards and getting frets in each one of these and doing that, it's going to be pretty much a busy week. And if there's any free time at all, I still have those 3 A-style mandolins up there that need the hardware and the strings and all like that. So there's plenty to do here this week. And if I run across anything that's worth filming, I'll do that very thing. Day 2 starts with the unwrapping of the final piece of binding on mandolin number 10 in the batch, I think, the R5 Master model. We're going to sand that up and clean up a little bit of glue that squeezed out, and then we're going to inlay the vine for the flower and vine pattern. Now here's a shot of a complete flower and vine pattern. We're going to put different flowers in, but basically we're going to keep the same pattern. As you can see, here it is drawn out on this peg head of this R5 Master model. And I'm going to take this router with a 1/16 inch bit in it and just dig out that vine pattern, and then we're going to use the same black, white, black binding strips, but this time we're going to turn them on their side so you can see the white, and that will be the actual vine for the vine and flower. So there you go. The rough hole is cut, and there's a lot of little wiggles and stuff there. I'm not a CNC machine, and so I will take a razor knife and straighten out any ragged edges and everything, and then we'll proceed from there. Now obviously this pattern consists of 3 separate pieces, and I like to put these 2 pieces in, go ahead and glue them in and let them set up before I actually cut this vine in 2 so that this piece can come through. Looks like an overlap. So right now we're just going to put glue. I'm going to just take liquid super glue and drip down in there until I fill everything up, and then walk away from it for a while. And there, that's done. Looks kind of rough, doesn't it? Trust me, it'll look great when we're done. So I spent most of the day bouncing back and forth between doing the inlay in this R5 Master model and putting in frets. This is the second mandolin that I have fretted today, and it is that oval hole R4 with the K&K internal twin pickup, some really nice curly maple, and it will eventually be going to its new home in Blvd, California, I think. So, and all of the vine is in this thing, so the next thing will be to put the roses in. And here we are. There is the first rose inlaid. And here's the final results. The name has been inlaid, the logo name, and the flowers and the vine are all done, and it's time to move on to do the fretwork now. And that is exactly what I've done. All of the frets are installed now, and not only this one, but all of the mandolins that's in this batch. And it is Friday afternoon, and I think just for a change of pace, I'm going to grab this first mandolin here and take it back here in the back and try to clean it up and get the tape off of the fretboard and just see what all needs to be done to put the strings on this one. I now have the tape off of the fretboard. The fret ends have been rounded and smooth and clean, and the fingerboard's been oiled. I have the tuner ferrules installed, and I just got through fitting the bridge feet on it, and it is quitting time. So we'll pick back up on this and the other mandolins in there next week. Certainly hope you join us then. And until then, I'll just say goodbye. Thank you so very much for watching. I really appreciate it, and we'll see you on the next round. Bye.